Hello everyone, it's JD here, and today I'm going to be taking you guys on a tour of my gaming and recording setup. Also, I'm going to be showing you guys what is coming in the near future, so stay tuned for that and enjoy. So alas, it is finally time to show you guys my recording and editing setup. This is pretty much what 4 years of planning and just accumulating has gotten me to, and it's finally at a point where I feel satisfied with the work that I've done. So the whole point of this whole setup was so that I didn't have to worry about anything going wrong, or I didn't have to worry about switching things and just mucking everything up. And now where I'm at today, I don't have to worry about changing HDMI cables, switching monitor screens, or anything. I can just have a second screen over there. I have my edits and my recordings and stuff going on over here, and then I have my games over here, and I can even sit on my bed and just play video games and even record if I wanted to from there. So I'm going to go through everything, but I'm going to put it in a format which is easy to digest. So first up we've got the computer, second up we've got the peripherals, third up we've got the recording of external consoles and everything else. So let's get right into it. So for the first part of this video we've got the recording and editing setup, and to power it all I've got my custom gaming PC Project Green Lantern, which is a project that I put together at least 2 years ago, and ever since that day I've been pretty much building on it and improving it in any way I can. So I'm going to go through the basic specs now, and then I'm going to get into the second part, which is the software and peripherals. So first up we have the processor. I've got a i5 6600K clocked at 4.3 GHz. I've got 16 GB of DDR4 memory clocked at 2400 MHz, and I've got an NVIDIA GTX Titan X graphics card with 12 GB of VRAM. For the hard drives, my whole storage setup is pretty much a 250 GB solid state drive and two different hard drives. One's 2 TB and one's 3 TB. And those are pretty much used to store all my games and all of my clips and every other little bit that I need for my videos. Now into part 2. This is what I use to edit my videos. This is Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2014, and this is my editing software. So as you can see here, this is my previous video, this is my Just Cause video, and pretty much the whole layout is as such. You've got your viewing area here, you've got your effects area here, you've got your clips area, and also your other effects area here, and then you've got your timeline at the bottom right. Now, it's really good what I've done here is because you can have your effects, so if I click on something, you've got your effects in the corner, and you can just easily adjust everything and create your clips and time frames and all that. And then you can drag stuff into your layout over here. You can then view it by clicking play, and then you can even go into other stuff like effects down the bottom and add what you need. And it's pretty streamlined too, so it makes everything a lot easier, and it's just a really good way of creating content. Now for my recording software, I have the GeForce Experience NVIDIA Shadowplay. And with NVIDIA Shadowplay, it's pretty simple. All I have to do is basically click the hotkey, which for me is just Alt and minus, and then I can just record a video. I can then choose my microphone, so I can have it always on. I can choose which one it is, which in this sense it's my Rode NT USB microphone. And then I can set all the levels and all that too. It even has an option, if I go back into it, for separate both tracks, which is really handy. Although one glitch I've been having recently with Adobe Premiere is that every time I try to then import it into Premiere, it just corrupts the file and it doesn't work. So I don't know how to fix that. I don't know if it's been fixed or anything, but I've just kept it as a single track ever since. And also another thing you can do is adjust the quality. I'm currently recording at 1080p 60 frames per second at 30 megabits per second bitrate, but I'm going to try and experiment with higher bit rates eventually. But so far it's been pretty stable, so I'm going to leave it as is. The next thing that I'm going to show you guys is what I use to record audio. As I was explaining, this is my Rode NT USB microphone on a just power stand pretty much. It's just connected to my desk and it just goes all the way up. And I normally keep it like above my desk like that, but the only reason I do this is so that I can have a second player just playing on the computer, and I can hear both of them. It's a really good setup, especially if you want to have a second player in the same room. It's also really good because it means that you don't have to have everyone on a Skype call, and it also means that I have really crisp audio quality as well, and I don't have to worry about really muffly voiceovers and all that. Apart from that, my basic setup is a Razer Mamba Tournament Edition and a Black Widow Chroma. This is the first edition of it. Black Widow Chroma RGB, and a Razer Tartarus Chroma, which I didn't know at the time. It just changes the colors altogether. You can't change them separately, so that was a bit of a bummer. And that is pretty much what I use. Unfortunately, what I'd like to change is to make it less visible to, well, less audible for me to hear the key clicks and the keystrokes when I'm recording, because at the moment you can hear that and it's really annoying. Now for the third and final part of this video, we have got the console setup. So now I've got all of these shelves with games and game consoles, and I've got a little blue light here, as you can see. This is a HDMI switch. Now what I've done here is I've hooked a HDMI switch up to all of my consoles, including my PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Xbox 360, not my PlayStation 3 because for some reason it just doesn't like the recording equipment, and I've got my PlayStation 2 as well, which is connected straight up to my TV. Basically what this does is I can basically record any one of these consoles on my recording computer, and every time I switch between signals it switches on the recording, so I don't have to worry about manually just setting which HDMI slot to record, because it does it for me. And the good thing about the second screen here is that I can basically record my game consoles on the second screen, I can view it on the first screen, I can be playing over here, and it doesn't disturb my workstation over here, so that means I don't have to worry about switching between HDMIs on my monitor, which was pretty much a pain back about 2 years ago. And that's why I got this monitor, because it's just an easy secondary or an easy primary, and that's pretty much my setup. So this is pretty much it. I'm starting to record more consoles now that I've got this all set up and it's all back to where it was. I'm starting to record more games and stuff like that on my channel now as well, since I've got more time off. And the big news for the future for the next 3 days is that I'll be recording a new series on my channel, which I haven't done in a pretty long while. And that new series is pretty much going to be on Detroit Become Human. Now, I recently got a PlayStation 4 because this game is one of the games that I wanted to record, and also because the new Spider-Man game's coming out and I'm really psyched for that. So you're going to be seeing a lot more Detroit Become Human on this channel, as well as a lot more other consoles as well. I'll be playing a lot more Xbox One, and after I've done with Detroit Become Human, or maybe a while, I'm also going to be doing a series on Ratchet and Clank. Now, Ratchet & Clank is one of my favourite games besides Jak and Daxter, and recently, for my birthday, I recently got the first Ratchet & Clank game from a friend, and it's been a really good addition to my collection. I haven't started it yet, but I will be doing that very soon, and I'll be recording that video in a crisp 480p, because I don't know how to record in HD on a console from 2001. So anyway, with all that said, I think that's pretty much all I have to say. The news was pretty much that I'll be recording more and I'll have a lot more variety on my channel. So stay tuned for all that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!